Welcome, folks, to the next episode of BattleTech Simplified, Season 2. I'm Michael Shockman, I'll be your host and commentator, and in today's inaugural episode of the Assault Weight Bracket, we will be covering one of the greatest mechs of the Star League era and an extreme veteran of the Reunification War. Today we will be covering the Victor. The Victor was built in 2508 under contract to the Terran hegemony as a support mech with jump capabilities. With the creation of the Star League, the Victor would go on to serve in the SLDF during the Reunification War, after which it was made available to the League's member states. Because it only ever served in line regiments, the Victor was never outfitted with the advanced technology reserved for Royal units, a fact which would increase its survivability in the years ahead. Standing at 14 meters tall, the Victor approaches the concept of support in an unorthodox way for a mech of its weight class. While only possessing a ground speed of 64.8 kilometers per hour, the Victor achieves a high degree of mobility instead through the use of 4 jump jets, allowing it to jump up to 120 meters or 4 hexes in the tabletop game. A Victor can therefore support, quote-unquote, friendly units by jumping directly into the fray and bringing its deadly close-range arsenal to bear, an ability which can surprise inexperienced mech warriors and prove advantageous in mountainous terrain. One sacrifice, however, made for this superb mobility is the mech's relatively light armor of only 11.5 tons, while the lack of proper anti-infantry capabilities is a minor problem. An estimated 1,000 Victors had been produced by the time the Star League fell. Many of these left with Alexander Kerensky during the Exodus, and when Hildco Interplanetary's 3 Victor factories were destroyed during the First Succession War, the mech became a prized target, with all sides scrambling to salvage serviceable units. Only Independence weaponry retained the ability to build new Victors, and with the capture of the Federated Suns during the Second Succession War, it became the AFFS's primary assault mech and a favorite command model for battalion and regimental commanders. Though the Draconis Combine would eventually retake the company following the War of 3039, most Kurita samurai were too proud to adopt a mech now associated with their enemy, while the Davians made do with purchasing new models from the rebuilt Hildco factory in the St. Ives Compact and funding the construction of Styx Tau Mechworks. By the time of the clan invasion, new models of Victors were being produced, which incorporated newly rediscovered lost tech into their design. The foundation of the Second Star League and destruction of Clan Smoke Jaguar would finally win the design acceptance by Combine warriors, while the conquest of Styx and St. Ives by the Capellan Confederation forced the Federated Commonwealth to contract General Motors to build more Victors. Though it had officially fallen out of favor during the FedCom Civil War, the Victor remained the favorite of Allied forces, with newer variants seeing use in the years afterwards. In terms of the weapons and equipment, ladies and gentlemen, the Victor's primary weapon is a Pontiac 100 Class 20 autocannon in its right arm. Though some models reported problems with the ammunition feed, this was not a common issue. The left arm contained the mech's close-range backup weapon of 2 Sorenstein Mark V medium lasers with a Holley SRM-4 tube located in the left torso. The autocannon alone is capable of downing most light mechs in a single shot and stripping off the armor of any location of most heavier mechs, leaving its other weapons to take advantage of any weak points in the enemy's armor. These weapons were originally aimed originally aimed by Stratus 20 targeting and tracking systems, but its tendency to project ghost targets, quote unquote, saw the Stratus replaced by the Melandri 34. As for my personal feelings on the Victor, folks, I have to say, I've only used this mech a little bit, but the time that I have used it, it is amazing! It's one of the... I don't really know how to put it. The Victor is probably one of the most underappreciated, in my opinion. In my opinion, it is one of the most underappreciated assault mechs out there. It carries a decent spread of weaponry. It's mostly a close-range mech, but because of the use of its jump jets, it can bound around from place to place and really be a serious threat on the battlefield. Would highly recommend you check it out. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me on this first episode of our Assault Weight Bracket extravaganza. Hope you guys have enjoyed. Stay tuned for next week when we dive into the 85-ton weight bracket and go into there. If you haven't already, by the way, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Also be sure to ring the bell icon so you never miss out whenever our videos go live here on YouTube. Last but not least, please comment down below with what your thoughts on the Victor are. Or do you think it's a bounding bundle of belligerent joy, or do you think it's a blunder of baffling proportions? Let me know down below. Anyway, guys, I'm Michael Shockman. I've been your host and commentator, and remember, as always, no guts, no galaxy. Later, everybody.